Hi, this is Karen from newclevelandradio.net. I'm with Rich, and this is our new podcast called Not Including Tomorrow.
I think it's better if we say not counting tomorrow.
Not counting tomorrow. Well, Rich, I've been advertising it as not including tomorrow. So
You goofed.
I goofed. Okay, so we're going to change.
Not counting is funnier than not including.
Okay, so we'll change it and I'll let everybody know that I goofed, of course.
Yeah.
And it's called Not Counting Tomorrow.
That's right.
And it's a new podcast, and we're starting it today on June 21st, 2021. 80 years ago today, my parents got married. So I think it's a good day to start a podcast about marriage.
Is it?
I think so. Don't you all think so? Let me see you all clapping because I think it's a good idea. So
I think we've been married for a long time.
Well, we have been, but
It's
see,
13,490 days.
now wait a second. That's only if you're counting from our July 15th, 1984 wedding.
Well, that's all I count.
No, because we officially, according to the state of Ohio, got married on February 3rd, 2004. I'm sorry, 1984.
Okay, 2004.
No, 1984. So that means we've been married. What did I calculate it out at? 13,658 days, not counting tomorrow, right?
53 days.
53 days.
You're always adding days.
But doesn't it make you feel good that really we've been married 37 years, not counting tomorrow.
Not counting tomorrow.
Not counting tomorrow. So, I suggested to Rich that we do this because, especially last year with the pandemic, many married couples sort of got stuck being with each other all the time. We sort of got.
Yeah, I've been stuck 13,490 days.
Now, there has to have been something good about those 13,000 plus days.
I'm trying to think of it.
Well, I don't think you
Alex.
should. Alex is a good thing, right?
Alex is a good thing.
And you also got, my son from my previous marriage. So you got Steve. So now you have.
Yeah, but he moved away.
Well, he grew up.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. But he's still.
I don't care that he moved away when he grew up.
Well, he grew up. So, but what we're going to be talking about
I didn't really have him to raise so that I could warp his mind so that he'd be warped now.
Oh, well.
See, with Alex, I've had him all the time.
And you've warped his brain.
And I've warped his brain.
To our audience, don't blame it on Alex. Blame it on him. Blame it on Rich. And I have something that I want to share because when I met Rich, I was so excited when we started dating and,
Well, you thought I was dating that rabbi.
Yeah, I thought I was dating a rabbi, but that's for another time story. But you see, my mother always told me to marry a rich guy. I think she meant wealthy because I married rich, but you're not rich, are you?
No, I'm not.
You're really Richard.
Yeah, I'm Richard. I'm
Richard.
Not rich.
Okay. But despite that, we've had some fun times together and ups and downs.
Both of them, yes.
Both of them, right? And in our podcast, we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with the good. Tell our listeners out there why they should want to be married and stay together for 13,000 plus days, which is equivalent to 37 years.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I thought I smelled something. Thinking, stinking. You're funnier than this, Rich. Okay?
I know I am.
So, You couldn't come up with something? You had to think that hard?
Well, I'm trying to think of the right thing to say.
The right thing to say.
If you say the wrong thing,
What happens?
you get in trouble, and your wife won't speak to you for a few days.
And maybe not even give you sex either.
That you're not going to get anything. You're not getting that.
Hey, you don't have to be that frank with everybody out there.
I'm not being frank. I'm being rich.
You're being rich. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I am going to go back to that comment you made that I thought you were the rabbi, because Rich and I met at the wedding rehearsal of our friends.
I look pretty good in this
yeah, you
camera,
do. Yeah. So we met.
Why don't I look like that in person?
You do look like that in person. That's you.
You think so?
Yeah, that is. So let me explain something. Please
explain.
We met, Rich and I, at our friend Helene and Lanny's rehearsal dinner that was the night prior to their wedding.
Yeah.
And
I happened to be short. I didn't have a date.
Yeah, he didn't have a date. I didn't have a date for the wedding either.
So
but
it was like,
when he first walked in, see, the rabbi of that temple was brand new, so I had never seen him before. And in walks
an excuse.
Yeah, in walks this guy in a white blazer, tan slacks, and a straw hat. You're wearing some sort of a hat.
I don't remember a hat.
Yeah, you were wearing a hat.
Maybe a cowboy hat?
Oh, may have been the cowboy hat from work. Yeah. And
I worked for Bessler at that time, and I had to wear a cowboy hat.
And if you don't know who Bessler is or
go look them up in Google. They're still in existence, but barely anymore. They were huge back then.
And then you can write in and tell us what kind of company Bessler was.
Yeah.
But
if you win, you get nothing. It doesn't matter.
We have no money in this company.
Yeah. Although I might have some old promotional material.
We have tons of promotional material from some job. But I'm going back to explaining why I thought he was the rabbi. So he walked in looking very professional. And I said to...
I had a full beard then.
You had a full beard, right? And I said to the groom's sister, is that the rabbi? And she said, might be. So I thought, well, I better be on guard. I better not mess up this rehearsal, because I was the florist and the wedding planner. So that's what my job was at night. Anyways.
You had a job?
Yeah. Didn't make a lot of money at it. Still not making a lot of money. But anyways, we started going through the rehearsal. And next thing I knew, there was this other guy standing up on the bima. The bima is the stage in a temple. And it wasn't Rich. It was the real rabbi.
Yeah.
And
he didn't look like a rabbi, though.
No, he didn't. You're right. He didn't. And so I whispered to somebody else. I think it was the best man. No, it wasn't the best man. I don't know who it was. But anyways, I whispered to somebody else and I said, if that's the rabbi, who is he? And they said, oh, he's the videographer.
See?
Yeah.
See?
So
I was getting paid big bucks then too.
No, I think you did it for free.
You think?
Yeah, I know. So to make a long story short, I didn't have an actual invitation to the dinner. I was at the rehearsal, and then I was going to meet you all afterwards. But Lanny, the groom, his mother, sort of took pity on me and Rich, because Rich felt all alone. And he said to his friend Lanny, who was that chick, and or something like that. Did you call me a chick?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And
You were looking good that night.
Yeah, but I had real short hair, and you don't like short hair.
No, but you still were looking good.
Oh, thank you. Am I looking good today?
You're looking great today.
Woo! I love that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I had,
Almost as great as me. See,
yeah, you
just
look
look at
really
me,
great
look at
there.
me.
Yeah, with those special glasses and everything.
Yeah, everybody talks about
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, I had driven home, and that was in the days before cell phones. And when I walked in the house, um, there was a message on my answering machine. And if you don't know what an answering machine is, I think we
You can
still,
Google that too.
yeah, but I think we have one or two boxed away in our garage
You think so?
with other things. Oh, yeah.
No, we got rid of those big ones that I used to have, the professional ones.
Oh, well, we even
I
have,
used to have professional ones because I had clients that would call me and they'd stand there and give me an order. So it had to take, I think it could take up to a half-hour message.
wow.
Boy, I was professional.
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure you were that professional. But, anyways, so we met.
But that's why I did well there
Yeah, you did well.
at Best Buy, at Bessler.
So we met at my girlfriend and his boyfriend's wedding rehearsal, Helene and Lanny Light. And by the way, happy anniversary. Their anniversary was last weekend. And we sort of started dating that night.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
I mean, I guess you could call it that.
You might call it that.
Yeah, you might call it that. And we won't go into details because my boys may be listening. And even though they're adults, they don't need to know all the nitty gritty that happened.
You can ask me, I'll tell you later.
I don't think anybody can hear that, Richard, because you don't talk loud enough.
Well, I was whispering.
Oh, you were whispering.
Yeah, I was whispering.
So this show,
they can backtrack it.
they can backtrack.
And listen to it at a higher volume.
Okay. So we're going to be talking about a lot of fun things. Some things, maybe not so fun because in the 37 years that we've been married and we've been together 40, I'm going to say that again. We've been together 40 years.
I hope not.
We have been. Not counting tomorrow.
Not counting tomorrow.
Right.
Okay.
40 years, not counting tomorrow.
Because I put a limit of 40 years.
You put a limit?
Yeah, I said this won't last past 40 years.
Well, a lot of our friends didn't even think it was going to last a year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So not to make a long story short, because we're here to podcast.
Sure, make it short.
But we're going to be talking about things like jealousy when we were in our early days of marriage. I was jealous a lot because you had experiences before me.
Yes, I did.
Many experiences before me.
Yes.
And
I had a reputation too.
And yes, he did have a reputation, which I'm not sure was a valid reputation.
Are you saying my reputation wasn't valid?
Well, not as bad as some people made it out to be.
Oh, well, you have to always explode those things and,
talking about
extrapolate as much as possible.
Extrapolate. Exploding doesn't sound really good. That sounds violent.
Okay. Well, you have to extrapolate.
Yeah. So we're going to talk.
You see, my life was different.
Your life was different?
Yeah. Because I had started out as a young child.
We all started out as young children.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I started out as a Christian going to United Church of Christ, which was like going to, I don't know, kindergarten.
Oh.
And they would talk about God and all those Christian things, and they just said, don't be bad, don't be a bad person. That's all I learned from them. And I remember when I got older, the preacher came over to the house and gave me a Bible.
You have a Bible?
Yeah, I had it. I don't know if we still have it, but I had a Bible that he gave me.
I have my own Bible too.
That says, came from the United Church of Christ. But that was, I didn't learn much from them. I really didn't about, religion or
Well, your
things like that.
parents didn't really encourage it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Dad didn't go, and maybe once a year, and Mom didn't. Well, she went every week, basically.
But she went for the social aspect, didn't
Yeah,
she?
she just enjoyed.
I had the
sitting there.
greatest mother-in-law, Loretta
Yeah,
Hale.
yeah. But
She was
anyhow-
adorable. Yes.
But anyhow, so then when I started dating, I met this girl that I was in love with.
He still is.
We won't talk about it. But she was Catholic, and so I actually started the Catholic
Conversion.
And I started to see the priest all the time and things like that, and he was talking me through it, and I was starting to do it, and then she said no, when I got down on one knee.
Oh.
And she said no. So that was that.
I mean, I wasn't your first.
No.
Okay.
And so bottom line is I really enjoyed that. The thing I enjoyed
getting down on your knee and her saying no?
No, I didn't enjoy that.
Oh.
But I enjoyed being Catholic, and I really thought I was going to end up being Catholic. And I would have liked to have met a Catholic girl, to be real honest. But
instead you met a Jewish girl?
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Just let me finish this.
Okay.
So I started dating other girls, and none of them were really Catholic. The Catholic girls, I don't know, I guess except for this one family that she came from, they didn't really care for me. All the girls in the family thought I was great, and
little did they know.
Yeah, they thought I was wonderful, and the mother even thought I was wonderful too. But that's that. But I kept holding on to this, thinking that this is going to be a big thing in my life. And the thing that I liked about that religion was the ceremony. The ceremony in the church was very nice in my mind. Okay. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I enjoyed it. Okay. So
you like the spirituality of it?
Yeah, yeah. So then I moved on, and when I met Karen, and she said, we really can't get married unless you convert.
No, I did not say it that way.
Well, the rabbi said it.
No.
Yes,
no.
She
no,
implied.
All she said was that she wanted you to take the training so that you would understand it more.
Okay.
And when it came to conversion, I said no.
Well, whatever. So I went through the training, and I realized that, again, this religion is not that different than the ones that I grew up on. This one has more heritage behind it. So they have traditions and things that they do for whatever reason. So I don't feel it's a bad mismatch. Yeah, it's not a mismatch.
Or a mishmash.
It works together with what I grew up doing. So, but if you look back at it, and most people, when they look back at me and they go through this whole thing, they always think, what a goofball, because he was this, he was that, he was this, he was, I didn't do Hindu. That's good. I never dated a Hindu girl.
Well, maybe if the right one had come along.
Maybe, yeah. And it's and I didn't meet a Taliban girl either. So
okay.
So that didn't happen either.
Okay.
So here I am. I'm married to you, and we have this mishmash of this combined relationship. And that's the cross I've had to bear all these days.
Oh my gosh. So do you remember the first Jewish word you learned? Did you ask my mother to teach you?
You understand. You got to understand that I lived in a Jewish neighborhood.
Right.
So I knew a lot of Jewish words.
Yeah, but what was the first word you told my mother you knew? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember this discussion.
Okay, so when my mother found out that Rich wasn't Jewish, she wasn't very happy. In fact, she didn't talk to me for a while. And then one day, all of a sudden, it was like the floodgates open.
As soon as we decided we were really getting married, then it was really, really bad.
No.
Yes,
it was before we got married.
I know, but we had told her we probably were.
Okay. But anyways, Rich told my mother he wanted to learn Jewish words, and she had this tote that had a bunch of Jewish words on it. And the first word we taught you was shmata.
What's a shmata?
It's a rag.
Oh, okay. See, I don't even remember.
You don't even remember.
I don't remember it.
My mother must be turning in her grave right now.
Yeah.
She thought it was the funniest thing because you walk around calling things shmatas. You don't remember
you a shmata?
Yes, you did. And she laughed at that point.
She? Oh,
yeah, at that point. So,
well, there were things that, she just didn't like me. And finally, I took care of that.
He stopped talking to her.
I told her, I said, if you're not going to like me, then I don't have to talk to you ever again.
She thought it was funny.
And she thought I was kidding. And I said, okay, this is it. I'm not talking to you ever again. And she'd come over and walk right up to me and talk to me. And I'd look at Karen and I'd say, do you hear something? I don't hear a thing.
And she would giggle. She thought it was the funniest thing.
Until it got really annoying to her, which I don't know, because we weren't up there every weekend. It probably took 2 months before it got to the point where she's like, you've got to talk to me. And I said, then you got to respect me and I'll respect you. I said, we're not going to have any more of this arguing or that I'm not good enough.
And you became buddies.
Yeah, and she became my buddy then. It was like, okay, I'll go along with you.
And my dad always liked you.
Yeah, he always liked me.
And my brothers.
Yeah.
So
none of them had any taste, is really what it boils down
to. I don't think you should say that because they both listen to my podcast.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, then I shouldn't say that, but
I think they have good taste.
Did they make a good decision that I was good for you? Let's be honest about it. Was I good for you?
Well, we've lasted this long.
Does lasted make it good?
In our case, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Because we've been through a lot. So,
okay.
So some of the subjects we are going to talk about is right from the beginning.
I thought this was a photography podcast.
Well, we're going to talk about photography too, because you sort of got me into that.
Did I?
Right? Remember?
I guess.
Yeah, you did. And we're going to talk about, you being a stepdad to my oldest son. Yeah. And we're going to talk about some of the difficulty we had getting pregnant to have Alex.
That was fun.
Well, in some ways it was fun.
Yeah.
In some ways it was absolutely terrible. If any of you have gone through infertility, and especially if you don't understand why you're going through infertility at a certain time when you already had a child. So we're going to talk about some of those things. We're going to talk about some of the challenges the two of us have had in the workforce and, how we've gotten through them. And we're going to talk about the fact that we are spending...
Well, what are we talking about today?
The rest of our life together, not including tomorrow.
Yeah, because I could change my mind.
Well, I could change my mind.
We're getting to that 40 point, which is where I told you you're out.
Well, we've been together 40 years, married 37.
Okay, but if we get married for 40, you might be out.
Well, you might be out.
I mean, the contract was only a 40-year deal.
Yeah. I haven't checked your teeth yet. I don't know if you're solid or not. I don't know about that. So we're going to encourage you, our listeners, to write to us and tell us what you want us to talk about, or maybe join us on a podcast.
We won't talk about that.
Yes, we will.
Really?
Really?
Oh.
Who's in charge here? You or me?
I thought I was.
I thought I was.
Although I think it's funny that I'm the taller one, but you gave me the shorter seat.
Well, this is my regular chair.
What are you doing? You're sitting up there like,
I have to sit up here like this.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And
we won't go into it.
We're about the same height.
About, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm still
You're taller than me.
Yeah.
By an inch or two. Yeah. And I don't wear high heels anymore, although Rich used to like it when I towered over him.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. But he doesn't
I still want to know.
What do you want to know?
What is this post-pandemic high-heeled pump? What is that?
Post-pandemic high-heel pump?
Yeah, or a pandemic high-heeled pump.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, there's a sign outside of a shoe store that I drive past on the way to work.
Yeah.
On Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's what it says. They got them on sale.
They have them on sale.
I was going to go in and get you a pair.
Do you know what size shoe I wear?
About my size.
That's true. It is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
But I have a feeling it's one of those,
really high heel.
Yeah. So you could only wear it for what, 2 seconds?
Well,
the bedroom for me. And
yeah. I have them worn.
Look at me. I'm wearing these high heels, Rich.
Yeah. I haven't worn high heels probably in 7 or 8 years because.
Well, pick a date.
Pick a date that I'll wear them.
Yeah, is it 7 or 8?
I don't remember.
You've got to be more decisive.
I have to be more decisive?
Yes, before the 40th year, you got to be more decisive.
Okay. So I'm going to throw out a question to our listeners.
Why is that guitar sticking out of the top of my head?
Oh, that's for Cafe Lena. And we do work with Cafe Lena. And if you don't know where Cafe Lena is, it's in Saratoga Springs.
No, you should Google it. Google it again.
Okay, Google it. But you should go visit it. It's the oldest coffee house still in existence today with live music. So check it out.
How do you know it's the oldest? How do you know there's not another one in downtown?
Well, nobody else is claiming.
Okay.
Wow. I'm not sure why I decided to do this podcast with him because he's a troublemaker.
I trouble too.
You're trouble too?
Yeah, I am trouble.
Yeah, I know you're trouble. Yeah.
I know. That's why you married me.
That's why I married.
You liked some of the trouble. You didn't like the other.
I did like some of the trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a question now. And so our listeners can get to know a little bit more about you. Yeah. Okay. So when you were in high school and going to college,
I was a stud.
When you were in high school and going on to college, okay.
I'm not laughing too hard. Your cameras are all shaking.
Yeah. What was your vision of the woman that you wanted to bring home to mom and dad?
Why do you want to know?
Our audience wants to know.
Why do you want to know?
Because I want to know. Don't you want to know? I want to know.
No.
So tell us. Now, remember, this is way before we met.
Yeah, I know.
You were still very young.
I would say that she had to be cute in the face. She had to be real cute in the face.
How do you define cute?
She really had to be a looker. She really did.
Okay.
you know, she didn't have to be perfect. She just had to be a looker. I really wanted long hair. I wanted it to at least come down to her, you know, the back of her shoulders, you know, things like that, you know, or maybe even down to the back of her, you know, her shoulder blades. That's always neat. I always like that, especially when they turn away from you and there's this little, you know, the hair comes down to a point and it's on the
Oh,
back.
mine doesn't. It flares
Oh,
out.
I know yours
Yeah.
is yours
Yeah.
is sort of square,
Yeah.
which is nice too. That's a good one
He
too.
just called me a square.
No, I like your hair the way it is.
Okay.
But anyhow, I mean, I like that. That's sort of sexy. Um, I wanted her to be thin. Uh, it didn't have to be really thin, but I wanted her to be, you know, thinnish, I guess.
Finish. Okay.
Okay.
Not finish. Finish.
Yeah. And I actually like tall women. So
You dated a few of them.
yeah, I dated a few. There was one that really towered over me, but she turned me down too. So the hell. You know, so I mean, whatever. But that's it. The one thing I really wanted that I had in just one woman is I wanted to have one of these women that talked like Marilyn Monroe,
Oh
which
my God.
which I mean that can drive me absolutely nuts. I had this one girlfriend who talked like Marilyn Monroe. So when she would leave a voicemail on my, you know, answering machine, you'll have to look that up again.
Remember Google answering machine.
Google answering machine. But anyhow, when she would leave me a message, I could melt. She would be, "Hello, Richard. This is, you know."
You may have to turn up your microphones.
But she was like that, and that's the way she was in real life too. And she had this real sexy voice, and I really would have liked that in a woman, but you don't find women that do that anymore. They all have this now, you know, and that
Is he talking about me? Because
no,
if he
no,
is,
I'm not.
we're not making it to 40
I'm
years.
talking about those women that run around, those young women now that
the ones that are on The Bachelorette.
Yeah, that crack their voice, that are screwing up their voice. They have harsh or whatever it is, and no, Jesus, give me a break, you know.
You want them to talk real.
I want them to talk real or go
or sexy,
you know. But you know, it's very hard to do a Marilyn Monroe voice, I guess, because even though it uses less energy, you have to know where to use less energy, because women just don't do that anymore. They just don't. And that's okay. That's not a problem.
So you're looking for somebody tall, thinnish, with a sexy Marilyn Monroe voice and long hair.
And long hair. Yeah. And a cute face.
Okay. Well, I sort of said that. So when he met me.
You've got 9 out of 10.
I what?
You have 8 or 9 out of 10.
Oh, well, when he first met me, I had just cut my long hair and I had spiked hair. I was thinnish.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. In heels, I was tallish. I didn't have a Marilyn Monroe voice at all.
No, she talks like this.
I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
No, it's not bad. It's just.
So I'm really not sure why you ended up with me, other than. In some ways, I guess I was easy. Yeah. Desperation?
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
I mean, I had women at that time, but.
You were getting tired of them.
Well, 2 of them I was definitely tired of. And there was a new one that came into the picture, but I didn't think she was going to go very far. And I think, I don't know, you know, I'm not positive, but I don't think she would have gone.
Well, she wanted money. We know that.
She wanted a lot of money, and I just didn't have it. So-
I would have liked money too, but I fell in love.
But she thought I could generate money. I don't know where she thought I was going to do it, but she felt, that somehow I was going to generate a lot.
So our story really is a journey, and I'm sure many of you out there are on a journey as well. Some of you are just starting out. Some have been together a long time. And, it is what it is. But one of the things I have found about our relationship is that it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good.
Well, I make up for all the faults that are in our relationship because I am just so good.
Rich,
Look at me.
Rich,
how can I not be good?
Rich, I think it's time to say goodbye to our listeners and tell them that we'll be back soon with another episode of Not Including Tomorrow.
How are we going to follow this up?
Oh, there's a lot we can talk about to follow this up.
If you think so.
I know so.
Okay.
Something happens every day in our life. Like all those things that you buy by mistake and are cluttering up our closets and garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot to talk about.
Well, I got a little tip that I'm going to throw out here.
Okay, go ahead.
Which, nobody on this broadcast is going to listen to or need. But if you've got a Nikon lens that's all of a sudden starting to not focus down as close as possible, okay, there is a YouTube video that shows you how to take this lens apart and how to fix it. However, there's a couple of gotchas on that video. Just a couple of little ones. Number one, there's so many screws, and this guy on the video are putting them different spots all over his desk. And I'm thinking, how does he know where that one goes back? Because he's not writing a note there or anything. But, that's the first comment. The second comment is, he's taking apart a $500 lens. If you have this problem, send it back to Nikon. I can't imagine taking it apart and fixing it on myself. And he admits, a half hour in, he admits, you really can't fix this cable anymore. You have to get a new cable. And you'd have to get it from Nikon. Well, Jesus, who would have it? Nikon. Send it to Nikon in the first place. If I get the thing all apart, I'm just saying.
You better not do this.
If I get the thing all apart and I need that cable, which he admits probably you will, okay, then I got news for him. I'm never going to get it back together again because the screws are going to get moved. They may get bumped and fall on the floor and then vacuumed up. I don't know what's going to happen. Or I'm going to go back and I'm going to go, where does this go? Where does this go? So my hint is, don't watch the video.
Just send it to Nikon.
Send it to Nikon. I'm going to call now after this broadcast. I'm going to call Nikon, see how much they charge. If it's a fortune, well, then that lens is going to work until it breaks entirely. If it's not a fortune, I may send one in. That's my comment for the day.
We give you tips.
Do it.
We give you tips and tricks here.
Yeah.
So with that, I want to thank everybody for listening to us.
Oh, she's getting a phone call. That's why she's saying it.
And join us again on Not Including Tomorrow.
Not.
Oh, Not counting tomorrow.
Not counting
Oh
tomorrow.
my, it's my own show and I don't even know the name of
You
it.
know what you're doing.
Okay, give me a kiss. Bye, everybody.
Why do we kiss?
Why not?
Oh, okay. Bye.